Happy Crafternoon, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today, we're going to have a lot of fun because I'm starting a new little series. It's not going to be like a series where it's every week, but I'm going to continue to do these because I think it's going to be fun, called Inspired By. And what I'm doing is I'm perusing our Facebook group, which is Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends over on Facebook, and I'm looking through all of the beautiful cards and inspiration, and I am choosing one card, and I am being inspired by that crafter and that card to make a card of my own. Now I'm going to change it up, and this is a great way for you guys to see how you can be inspired by something but still make it uniquely your own. And that's my goal today. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
And it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
That sounds a little bit like funspiration.
Funspiration, definitely. Yes.
Hey, everybody. Happy Crafternoon. Better than horrible. From the Dead Space.
We're going to have fun. I'm going to be using a stamp set that I haven't used yet, Tom.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's from our new release, and I know a lot of people got this one, so it might be fun for them to see a fun way to use it.
Okay.
I'm going to see how many times I can say fun in this video.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so shall we get started?
Let's get started.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the card and the inspiration for today's video. So these are the cards that I am inspired by today. These cards are by the very talented Tracy Renner. She is one of our Facebook group members, and she puts lots of inspiration into her cards and into the group. She did something similar to this with rainbows as well. So I'm kind of pulling a little bit from both. But as you can see in these cards, the elements that I am going to take from this are those 3 circles. I love the way she did that, and I love the way the circles look. I just think it's amazing how she kind of clustered them all together. That's another thing that I'm going to do with this, is I'm going to take not just the 3 circles, but I'm going to cluster them together similarly to the way that she did in the first card, how all 3 overlap. Well, I guess they all overlap in the second card as well. Now, stamp sets, I believe she used our autumn silhouettes for that one. And she may have used another one as well, but they are beautiful cards. So Tracy, thank you for being our inspiration today. I am being inspired by you. And because of that, Tracy, we're going to be sending you a $15 Gina K Designs digital gift card. So I'll be putting that in the description, and then you can reach out to customer service for that. All right, and this reminds me, please fill our group with inspiration, because you never know whose card I'm going to choose next to be inspired by. Let's take a look at the stamp that I'm going to use today. So I'm going to be using the brand new You Are My World. Now, I love this one. Oh my gosh, did you see that? Terry said maybe a shot of fruit salad every time Gina says fun. Yes, and you'll be really feeling good. It'll be extra fun by the end of this video. Okay, so I'm going to be using the beautiful You Are My World. This is the new stamp set and die. This is the bundle by Arjita Singh. And I love this one because of these bold lines. I think that they're beautiful. And then it does have the full die set. Now, I did want to point out that some of their die sets are so big that you do have to overlap a couple of the dies. See how that one's overlapped a little bit? But because these magnets are so strong, that's not going anywhere. Most of it is attached to the magnet. And these magnets are just such a great way to store your dies. And with every bundle, you get the magnet for that coordinating die set. Okay, So I'm going to start with a couple of pieces of cardstock here. Now let me get my paper cutter. And I am going to be using my MISTI for this. So I'm going to cut 3 card panels down to 3.5 by 5 inches. Now it's important that you do all of this cutting ahead of time. I'm slipping on this scrap paper down here. Okay, 3.5 by 5. Okay. So I have 3 of them right here. I had a couple sitting on my desk here, and I thought, I only need to cut 1 more. Now I am going to use my MISTI for this because it's going to be really important that we stamp in exactly the same spots that on every card, all right? So let's see here. I still haven't found my MISTI corner. I need to find my corner, but I think, yeah, I think we'll have to see how this goes, how I'm going to stamp this, because I do want to stamp it over the entire thing like that. Let me just take a quick peek in this little compartment here. Excuse my head. Oh, you know what? God is with me today. There it is, the MISTI corner. Okay, so you see what the MISTI corner does is it pulls part of the cardstock away from the top. This way I can get that leaf up to the top. See, if I had it just up here in the corner, these are great value. You can pick them up at any of your big box crafting stores or your local stores. See, I wouldn't be able to get that leaf on there, and this leaf would be off the MISTI too, and it wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to make contact with the paper. So by just finding my MISTI corner here, I can stick that in that corner, and now I know that I'm going to be stamping in the right spot. I am still going to put a little tape on the bottom here just to hold that in place because this is a brand new stamp and it's a little sticky and it could pull on the cardstock. Okay, so we're going to start with this big giant image, and this image is awesome for some of those fancy fold cards that I've done where you use the whole stamp as like an opening or to like cut along the edge. There's so many fun things. I should use this stamp again. I think I will. I'll use it another time in a different card because it's such a great one. And I love the big bold lines on it too. So I'm going to stamp this onto my MISTI. Now, let me see here. How do I want to do this? Because remember, I invent these things as I go. I think what I'm going to do first is I am going to put this here on my piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to get some 1/4 inch Masking Magic strips because I do want to create a little border here. So you can see I'm just putting those along the border. This is before I do the stamping, so I wanted to do this first. So if you're stamping along, I'm sorry if you were already there, but we're going to do this part first. And this is just to create a little interest around the outside. Okay. Here we go. And here's the last one. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some sea glass ink, and I am going to do just a little bit of light blending around the perimeter of this. Not a lot. I'm not going down too far into the actual body of the card here, but I'm just doing a little bit, and you can see a lot of people ask me about the blending. I'm going to be starting off the cardstock and working my way in. Now, my reason for doing this is just going to distinguish the edge of the inner part of the panel from the outside little border that I want to create. And I know it looks like more of it's on the actual Masking Magic than on the paper, and that it's true, it is. But it'll make a big difference once we peel the Masking Magic off, which we're going to do right away. Because I'm going to stamp outside of the border, but I just want that border there for a little interest. And if you don't want to do this step, you totally don't have to do this step. This isn't really the technique that I want to do. The technique is very similar to Tracy's card. But you can see I'm just creating this little shadow along the edge here. I think it's going to be really pretty though. And welcome everyone. I just looked up and realized how many people we have here. Welcome. It is great to have you coming in from Facebook, our group, our Facebook page, coming in from Twitch. I'm seeing comments from everyone. It is great to have you here. And of course on YouTube. Lots of people coming in from YouTube. Okay. There we go. So we have our little border, and that's all I want to do with that. Now I'm going to peel these off just to reveal that nice white crisp edge. I had to do that first. There we go. That just makes it feel a little bit more finished to me. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this back into the Misty in that spot with the Misty corner in there. And we're going to stamp this image in black. Now, I could have stamped the image first and then did the border, but I just didn't want the black to smear at all. And, you know, since I'm working pretty fast here, I didn't want to give it much time to dry. So I'm going to use black Onyx ink, and I'm probably going to stamp it more than once. Patricia, we have a huge order of Masking Magic strips coming. They usually arrive in just a few days, so I'm thinking by the early part of next week, since it is the end of the week, that they should be back in stock. Okay. Oh, I love the bold lines on this stamp. All right, so we're going to stamp this. Probably going to have to stamp it again, but we'll see. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and stamp it one more time, though, just to make everything a little more crisp. Okay, one more time. Okay, I think that will do it. Let me stamp right there one more time. Again, whenever you have a new stamp, sometimes it takes a couple times to prime it and prep it. You can rub an eraser over it if you want. Just don't use a nail file on it. There we go. Okay, it looks good. Okay, now I'm going to gently peel this off using my well-manicured nails. Okay, so there is my card front. Now, I'm going to put this aside. I am going to clean this area off a little bit. Just going to use a paper towel and a little bit of Windex just to get that ink off. Okay, and then I'm going to use my tidy towel to clean this stamp just so that I don't dirty up the Misty, because I'm going to put the Misty down here for a second. Now, I am going to do some ink blending on those other two pieces of cardstock. So let me find those where they got to. They are over here. All right. So I want to do kind of a rainbow effect on these. And I'm not worried about it looking super perfectly blended. But I am going to start with some red. And I'm going to do both at the same time. So I'm going to kind of work my way down in a rainbow fade. So we'll get a little red on here. There we go. So pretty. Well, welcome everybody. Boy, people are just popping in. We have the crafter lunch crowd, Tom.
Crafter lunch, yes. Yeah. And crafter yard work.
Crafter yard work? All right. So there we go. We've got our first color down. Now we're going to go with some orange ink. I'm using Tangerine Twist. And I'm using my little blending brush stand here for this. All right. We'll start up here. Now this way I'm coming from the top. Like this. So I want you all to know, this is very important. Mercury is in retrograde. I want you to all know that. Mercury is in retrograde. And I don't know if that means anything to anybody, and maybe I didn't even have to tell you that because you're feeling it, but it is definitely in retrograde. And some people will say, well, what does that mean? And I'll just say communication is not very good right now. Everything from talking to people to miscommunication. People see things and they interpret them wrong. Emails, computers, glitchy things, all kinds of stuff going on. So, Mercury's in retrograde. Don't let it get you down. It's going to be done on April 25th is the last day. I don't know what that means. Yes. A lot of people are saying, I don't know what that means. Yeah, so Mercury is the planet of communication, and I gotta tell you, it's been wacko lately. Started on April 1st, and it'll be done. That means it appears in the sky as it's going backwards, right, Tom? Isn't that what retrograde means?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like going backwards.
It's kind of like Gatorade.
Yeah, Mercury and Gatorade.
What color red is that?
So the red is red hot. Red hot, Tangerine Twist, Wild Dandelion, and now I'm going to use Lucky Clover. Yeah, right? April Fool's was a great day for that to start. Everybody trying to make April Fool's jokes and losing friends. All right, that's Lucky Clover. And remember, you can use any colors you want. Maybe you don't want to do a full rainbow. I'm doing a rainbow, but you could do whatever you want. I mean, you could do just, alternating blues and greens or blues and purples or reds and oranges, however you want this to look. And I thought it would be fun to do kind of a rainbowy effect. Okay. Now I'm going to move to Turquoise Sea. And I've been asked why I use turquoise instead of blue. And I think it's a personal preference. I think turquoise really blends in nicely with green. And it also blends in really nicely with purple. And where purple and the turquoise overlap, it does get a little more blue. A little more periwinkle, actually. Let's get a little more of this. Just nice, bright, fun colors. Hear my little woodpecker? Mercury needs to be more Freddy and less retrograde. Okay, that wins the internet comment of the day. I agree. We need more Freddy Mercury and less retrograde Mercury. Oh, I love that. And then the last one is going to be Wild Lilac. Yeah, if you don't think you can say something wrong between now and the end of April, that's the first thing you're going to say that's wrong. No matter what you say, you're going to be wrong. Right, Tom? Are you feeling that lately?
I would say so.
Tom got an earful talking about my parking.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So there we go. We've got a little rainbow going. Yes, it means communication is bad all over the world, Susanna. Yes, it does. It's just bad communication. Coming from a planet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stamp that same image on top of this rainbow. Okay? So I'm going to give that a minute to dry. Oh, thank you. If you walk away from this and you come back, it's going to look even more blended, even more airbrushed, because our ink has a smoothing agent in it, and it is such nice ink. You'll really be surprised how easy it is to blend with this ink. Okay, see, there we go. Mercury in retrograde. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this one with the black Onyx. of the way. Ooh, this is pretty by itself. And I'm not even sure that I'm gonna like what I did on the other one. I might redo that one, we'll see. I'm gonna just get that a little bit on the inside there. A little bit more right in there. Okay, so now we have one of these. Boy, that's pretty by itself, isn't it? Wouldn't that make a beautiful card just like that? And throw a greeting on it? Woohoo! Hey, Jennifer. I see Jennifer's here. All right, now I'm going to do another one, same way. I saw Jennifer's going live. I was posting my live, and I saw she's going live later today, I think with Greg from Concord and 9th. Okay, and let's give it one more just to make sure all the black is even. Okay. All right, that looks good. Now, I think I am going to go back on my word with this. I'm not sure that I'm liking this. I'm not done with this. This is another card that I'm going to make, and I'm just going to color this in with colored pencils, and I think it's going to be beautiful. But I don't know that I like the border as much as I thought I was going to like the border now that I'm thinking more about what I'm actually going to do here. So I'm going to cut one more quick panel, the same size. You know, for those of you that have watched me a long time going live, you know that I have been changing my mind a lot lately. And I actually ripped part of a card apart on Tuesday night. Right at the end, I just ripped the card apart and changed it at the last second. And it was a little stressful because I didn't know if it was going to work, but it changed for the better. So I change my mind when I'm going live. These are just, you know, whatever happens is going to happen. So let's just stamp this one plain with no border. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm going to like this better. I think the border, although my idea, I like it for the coloring, I don't think I like it as much for this technique. Okay, and we'll stamp it one last time. My goodness. All right. Yeah, I'm going to like this a lot better. So let me pull this one off. There we go. Nice big bold stamp. Isn't this stamp gorgeous? That is just a gorgeous stamp. And if you like to color, especially if you like to watercolor, this is a really good one because if you like watercoloring with embossing first, like embossing and then the water that kind of holds the watercolor inside the lines, these are nice big lines on this stamp, so it's super easy to do watercoloring with. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is get the die cutting machine. Now what I want to do here is I want to cut some circles from these two, but here's where I'm going to do something a little bit different than Tracy did. Tracy cut hers randomly. I'm going to cut mine so that we paper piece them over this one, like spotlight them, but we're also going to overlap these onto each other. So we need to make sure that I'll show you what I mean. We're going to make it look exactly like this, but spots of it are going to be in color. Okay, so it's a little different than my usual thing. All right, so let's start right in the middle because I want to get some of this right in here. I want to make sure I get these colors. Now, the dies that I'm using, I have 2 circle sets that are stitched. I have a set from, and let me see where I put those. So this small one is from Master Layouts 7. That's these tiny circles. And then the bigger one is from Master Layouts 5. And I'm just using the stitched and the plain from Master Layouts 5. Now that being said, you don't have to use Master Layouts. You can use a circle punch. You can use a circle cutter. You can use nesting dies. Whatever you have is totally fine. So I'm going to cut one from here like this, and then I'm going to come in and cut another one like right here, like that. And then I might cut another big one down here, okay? So you can cut them the same size, you can cut them different sizes. Maybe I'll do them all with the big one since we're doing a lot of overlapping. Let me see how this first one looks. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this. It's a little nerve-wracking. Okay. So I've got that first one cut out. Now the next one I have to cut one here, and then I have to cut one down here. So obviously I can't use this piece. That's why I made the second one, right? So I definitely want to overlap that first area. So I'm going to cut like right about here. So if you're not 100% sure what that's going to look like, just kind of find the spot where it matches so you know where you want to cut. I think that's the spot. Is that the spot? Let me look. Oh yeah, there's the spot. Okay, right about there. And then we're going to cut one like about here. So I'll cut that one right about there. I hope that makes sense. You hate to cut out a blended panel. I know, it's hard, isn't it? But you know, that would be really pretty to have like a really pretty greeting on the inside, or you could overlap it onto one like that. Isn't that a cool look? A spotlight look? Just some open space. So there's a lot of things you can do. Don't worry. All right. So now we have that second one that's going to overlap right there, like that. And then we need one at the bottom. So maybe I'll use the same size. I'll just go with the same size. I'll do them all the same. I'll bring this one in a little bit like this, because that is still going to be in the right spot. Yep, I'm going to bring this one in over a little bit because I want to put a greeting in here too. Okay. And I'll show you this one with that white one too, so you can see how that looks. Okay. So now we have 3 of these ready to go. And then, like I was saying, with that same panel, see how you just line it up and you have open spaces in there? It's just kind of a cool look. If you wanted to, you could cut a small one, because 3s always look better. You could cut a small one. You could even cut it off the side. It really wouldn't matter. In fact, let's do that. Let's cut one more here, and we'll make a quick second card out of this that's left behind. And we'll just make it the opposite. Okay. There we go. So there's that, and there's that. And I know that looks like a bite is taken out of it, but it totally would work if you put it on top like that. I may not make the second card today, but all you would need is something really quick, like a little, I've got some strip sentiments here. You just need a little strip sentiment on there like that, and it's just a cool way to use the panel that you got rid of, right? So that's the way to use this panel. Same thing with this one. You can highlight that center in white. That looks like an eclipse. And then just add a little greeting. So you can see how very quick and easy you could whip these up into other cards. If you want to overlap that into the white, that might look a little better, like that. So that's a fun second card idea. but let's get through the first card, right? Now, I'm going to cut 3 black circles because you know I can't make a card without some pops of black, and I think that's what's going to really help with the overlapping is having the little pop of black in here. Okay. Is it better to cut the panels on an angle? You know, I think they do go through the machine a little easier if you cut them on an angle, but if you don't have the cutting plates too tight, I really haven't had any problem going straight in. I do have to definitely put them on an angle when I use other die cutting machines. This die cutting machine is just very, very easy to use. Okay. We also have a good size circle in Master Layouts 3 that would work with this. And if you're doing 5x7 cards, you could use even bigger circles because the whole design could be a lot bigger. Now, if you need more flour in order to do the bigger design, what I would do is I would add this second flower into the design, just kind of tuck it in here, and then that would be great for a 5x7 card. All right, let's see what we come up with. And once again, we are being inspired by Tracy Renner from our Facebook group. She has inspired me today to make this card. Tom, do you want to show everybody the card? Oh, you did already. Okay. See, I never look up. So this is Tracy Renner's card, and this is what I am basing my inspiration on today. But you can see so far, our cards are going to be very different from each other because inspiration doesn't necessarily mean that we're copying exactly, but we're being inspired by something that we saw. Now, inspiration is different than casing. You may have heard the term casing, like I cased that card. Casing is an acronym to case. It means copy and share everything. Some people think it means copy and steal everything. But I don't mind if you guys case my cards, and I see that all the time. I'll make a card and then I'll see my same card 30 times in the group. And that's great. People are checking it out, trying it out. It's awesome. But if you want to try to kind of stretch your own creativity, starting with somebody else's card and using them as inspiration, and then maybe mentioning them in the group, saying, hey, I used this person's card as inspiration. It's sharing the love. Okay, so I put that on a background. Now I am going to layer these circles together. Okay. So I want to make sure they're even. And the hard part is going to be finding the exact spot that these go. So it might take a little bit to kind of twist things around and find the exact spot. Let's see. That looks like it though, right there. Once you get it in the right spot, it kind of looks like you're looking through like a magnifying glass or something at just a certain spot on the card. But isn't that fun? I love that. Okay, so now let's get the next one, which is this one. We'll get this together. I didn't have a whole lot of red in here, but that's okay. I could have brought my red down a little bit more. And remember, the first time you make a card, I always think of it as a practice card. So if this is your practice card for the idea, like if I did this one again, I might say, I think I'm definitely going to, let's see, that goes up here. Can see the leaves, so I'm going to line up those leaves. So there is circle 2. All right, and now we're going to do the bottom one. It's fun and a little strange when you overlap them. I don't think Tracy overlapped hers, but she didn't have the black, so the black makes it a little bit odd, but cool too, So this is going to go right about here. like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the first one down, and then I'm going to pop the other two up. Okay? So let's do that. We'll get the first one down just with tape. It's going to be a little tricky, but we won't... Oh, I have to put my glasses back on. But we won't press hard until we know we're in the right spot. Let's see. That feels pretty close. Sometimes you're in the right spot, but you just got to lift it up a little bit more, and then it all falls into place. And I'm just going to turn it a tiny bit more. Like that. Yep, there it is. There it is. That's it. Okay. That's a cool card right there by itself. You could just put your greeting on there, and that's the spotlight technique, right? But this one, we're gonna match the leaves. So this one's gonna be a little easier because we're gonna match the leaves, but we're gonna pop it up. So let me find some foam squares. I think, did I have some out from the other day? Yeah. So I'm not gonna put any here. I'm just gonna put them on this side, because this is already elevated quite a bit, and our foam squares don't elevate too high. If you want them to, you can do a double, but you don't have to. So that's going to be the spot. Let's see, I'm going to put one more right here. I'm just testing it out first to make sure it's going to work. That's too much. Let's get the 1/4 inch ones. I can just feel that it's, you know, not in the right spot. Okay, that's going to look good. So that is elevated. I'm going to take these off. And now here I go trying to line that up really well. Okay, that's the second one. Now, it's okay, everybody's so enthralled in what we're doing that the thumbs up just isn't happening, but that's okay. I see people going, wait, there's 1.2 people here on YouTube and only 72 thumbs up. That's okay. If you get a chance, we would love a thumbs up, but if you're watching, you could do it later if you want, or you don't have to do it at all. Okay, and there's the third one. So I think I'm going to put one more tiny one in the center here. I'm going to feel to make sure it's not going to overlap in a weird way. Yep, that's going to be perfect. Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I did manage to shut off the super chats. I was trying to find that. As much as we appreciate it, we don't want anybody to feel pressure. Okay. So there we go. All right. So isn't that cool? We've got the 3 circles on there. Some of them are elevated. We've got the floral design. You still can see the floral design in there, but just parts of it are in color. Where did this one come from? This was off the side here somewhere, like right here. That would have been another one that we could have done in black if we wanted to, and just trimmed it to match. We could double pop that one up. But I think this is good. We'll go with the 3. Now what we want to do is we want to get a greeting on here. So I was thinking that we could use this, this spring greeting and put spring blessings right here in the middle. So why don't we do that? So I'm going to get another piece of white cardstock. I have another little one here. I thought I did. That's too thick. That's like layering weight or heavy base weight. Oh, it's because it was a card base. Got it. Let me just cut this piece off here. I don't need a lot. And then I need my Misty again. Where did that go? Okay. I know, this is fun. It's something different. It's something that sometimes you just need to try something totally, totally different. Yeah, you could definitely use the smaller circles. They would look great. They would look awesome. We might have time to finish that other card too. Okay. All right, I'm going to stamp this more than once because I don't want to squish that little blessings there. And then if there's any spot that's not inking properly, I've showed you this technique before. Very easy, just take a little blending stump, grab a little ink, and you can just dot some ink into the spot that you missed, and it's all taken care of. Don't try to do it with a marker because the color is not going to be the same. Not all black ink pads, markers, pencils are the same color black, and you can definitely see the difference. So I love this greeting. Isn't that fun? Okay, so let's do this greeting for this card, and then we'll add a strip sentiment or maybe another greeting from the set onto the other card. Yes, definitely you could use a heart and just do a single one. That would be beautiful. That would be gorgeous. So you guys see all the suggestions that you're making? This is how we get inspired. We see what somebody else did and we think, okay, I love that, but what else can I do? What can I do to change it up and make it my own? Make it a little bit different. Okay, so see this die? This die is it's a great die. It's a little hard to see because of the way that they had to put these lines here to connect these two little openings. So, at the risk of being on the struggle bus, I'm going to take a little piece of cardstock here and I'm going to cut this out by itself first and make a little template. You guys have seen me do my template trick a million times, but I think this is one of those times where it really helps a lot. So I've cut that out. And now I'm going to just take a pair of scissors.
What's the name of that stamp set again?
This is called, I love this set so much. This is called You Are My World. And now I'm going to put this here and I'm going to lay this on top so till it looks centered. That looks pretty good. Pretty good. Then, and if this gets in your way for this technique, you can trim this off. Don't worry about that. You can trim that off too. Just make sure that you have it so that the white around the outside looks even. And then I like to use a little bit of masking magic to tack it down. And then I'm going to just lay this die right in there. And I'll use a piece of masking magic to just hold it down. You can feel it snap into place. And that'll help with all those little areas that are just a little tricky to see underneath all that metal. All right, Tom, they're starting to ask for the word of the day. So do you have a word of the day today?
Of course I have a word of the day.
Life's mission.
When do I not have a word of the day?
Yeah, you always have
Sometimes.
a word of the day.
Okay.
Remember, Mercury's in retrograde, so words of the day are ruled by Mercury.
I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
All right. So, word of the day. So, those of you who followed along with Gina's lives for a while now. No doubt seen her towards the end of the live. She will often take her time to find just the right little accent, the beads, embellishments. Yes, and she won't rush it. She'll just take her time and put those on just to finish her card off. And what she is doing in that moment is blingering. That would be blingering. Word of the day.
That's great. I love blingering. That's so cute. Oh, that's
and
great.
Back to the dead space.
All right, so I'm going to put my word right there. So I'm going to tape it down onto there, but I'm going to put some foam squares just on these parts right here. That's a good word of the day, Tom. Very good. I am blingering most of the time. I'm going to get my tweezers to use some of these little half-cut ones. Do another little half cut. So I want to see how that looks. Yes, yes. And then we'll tape that right onto there. So I could put a little tape on this part. And then we'll use these little foam squares just to keep that rise the same. Okay. How about right there? That'll look good. Oops, forgot to let go of the tweezers. Mindy Egan, if you're out there, I'm still learning. All right, so there we go. And now let's put this on to... I be lingering too. All right, let's put that on a card base. Now let's see what color. Now I'm thinking because we don't have a lot of red in this, that the red might really bring it all out because we kind of cut the red off. The red was at the top of that fade. So why don't we use a red card base? That'll really kind of give it that last color of the rainbow that's kind of missing a little bit there. All right, I'm gonna get my big paper cutter that's hiding in the corner here, my tonic. Not worried about getting it all in the picture here. Okay, and let me find my scoreboard. And we're going to score this at 5.5. This is a tent style card.
That is about as red can get.
It is. It's the best red, isn't it? It is amazing. I've got a foam square stuck to me. Let me get a little tape on the back. And there we go. There is that card. It's got a lot of dimension with all the popped up elements there. I love that. Now let's make that other card. Let's use this panel that I wasn't going to use, and let's use what's left over from that big circle, and we'll have that open element there. So I'm going to just go ahead and tape that. I'm getting a twofer. I'm like, why can't I see? Oh, you know what I did the other day? Guys, I thought I was terrified. I thought that I was losing my vision like really fast. And I was driving home. It was Tuesday. And during my live, I was really having trouble seeing. And I was driving home and everything was so blurry. And normally at night, I don't have trouble driving at night. Like, I don't have night vision problems. And I was really, really worried because everything was just blurred and, it was kind of scary. Well, I got home and I went upstairs to take my contacts out. and I looked in the trash can and I saw my contact, the little packages that the daily wear contact lenses come in. I had put the wrong prescription in. I had found a bunch of really old ones from like 3 prescriptions ago, and I had them sitting on the counter because I guess at 1-800-CONTACTS you can send the old ones back and they replace them for you with your new prescription. And they were sitting there and I forgot that I put them there, and so I had like a prescription in that was like 2 or 3 prescriptions ago. And I thought I was losing my vision, but really I just had the wrong contacts in. Oh my gosh. Right? So, should we do another red one like that? Why not? Let's use that other piece of red cardstock. It really does brighten up the red on there. Although, I do want to look at one more thing. I want to look at a white card base because, I don't know, where's my white? Here it is. Because sometimes when you have a card base with that much color in the card, I'm on the floor right now cutting this. Sorry, I was on the floor. When you have a card with this much color, a really bright card base actually kind of diminishes the color, and that, I feel like that might be happening there. I don't see enough of that color. So you look at it with me and we'll decide together. But I'm gonna score this one at 5.5. Yeah, I was actually on the floor. I have no room here at all. And so my paper cutter is normally on the floor. Normally my die cutting machine is on the floor as well. Yeah, I need a little more space. But so see how this kind of looks? I think this is going to pull out the white in this too. I feel like that's just, you don't see it. Now look at that. Right? Doesn't that just make this pop out more? I love that. I think that's very cool. I think we have to do that. Yep. Yep, we're doing it. Sometimes I'm so sure, and then all of a sudden I am not sure at all. Now this one, because there's so much color going on, and there's not a lot of black. See, in this one there's a lot of black, right? Because you've got the black on the outside of the circles and stuff. I feel like a strip sentiment would work so much better on this one, because that gives that little pop of black on the inside as well. So let's do that little pop of black on the inside. Let me just see, do I have any other? This is nice too. Missing You is nice. And Love You So Much. I think I'll do Love You So Much. I like the size of this for this particular card. I feel like this is the right amount of black. So we'll overlap it into the white just a little bit. Like that. There we go. So we got a twofer out of that one. And remember, you could always use this one too to make a third one if you had another one of these stamped. Do we have time? What time is it? Oh, it's getting pretty late. All right, so I think I'll avoid doing this one, although it might be really pretty. Oh, I already took the stamp off, so I can't do it. See, you can't take the stamp off of your Misty. The stamp has to stay on there so that every single impression is in the exact same spot. So when you layer these things up on each other, you know, they're in exactly the same spot. But I can't go for the third. Bummer. Okay, well, you know, that happens sometimes.
So here was a nice take. A few people have said if you use the Missing You sentiment, right?
Yes, people are so smart. See me just rip that off? Missing You, and then part of it is missing. I love it. You guys are brilliant. That is brilliant. Okay, whoever said that, brilliant, brilliant. Missing You. And there it is, missing. How cute is that? Missing You. The empty space in my heart. It would be cute too if that was a heart, right? Because we could have cut a small heart in there. Very good idea. I love that. Okay, well, there are the two cards. Let's take a look at Tracy's card one more time. That beautiful card that she the beautiful cards that she created. I was inspired by her 3 circles and just the beautiful layout that she did there, how they overlapped. And then here is my inspiration card with the 3 circles. I added little black outlines and I overlapped mine so that they completed the image. And then I used one of the leftover pieces to make this second card. This was so much fun. Now, we've got another gift card we're going to give away today. So Tracy gets gift card because she was the one who I was inspired by, but we're going to give another $15 gift card out to one of our lucky chatters in the chat thread. So, Tom, you are on.
Drum roll, please. Here we go. The winner is Crystal Silvia. Crystal
Yay,
Silvia.
Crystal! Congratulations, Crystal. All you have to do is send your name and your email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and we will send you a digital gift card. Thank you guys all so much for joining us here today. We hope that you had a good time and we hope that you were inspired by Tracy's beautiful card and that you will give that layout or whatever you took from that a try and share it in our Facebook group over at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Well, everybody, we're not going to do anything this weekend, but we will be back next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live. Until then, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.